Hi everyone. For this session, we're going to touch on how to integrate scanning into your applications. What we're going to cover is why integrate scanning, into your application, way you can run is it, and also how to integrate the. We'll walk through the process with the Android Studio, step by step, how to integrate them into your applications. So the first thing is why integrate scanning to your application. There are many application that the system would not want the user to input the entry manually, which is why barcode was created for you know um, fast error-proof entry, and also there are workflow that require you to scan the physical item in front of you and or a barcode at a physical location instead of you input those data in another location manually. There are also workflow that require you to scan item and count them behind the scene. So this will allow you to scan them and count it and populate the field later on the total number of item scanned. Of course, there are also application or workflow that when they scan the data, those data is not what your system want entirely. So you may need to cut off, trim off, or add on certain data to your scan data. So the you can make all this parsing and formatting of the scan data behind the scene. Of course, you want to make sure that you in that particular field in your application scan the right data, so you can put the validation or scanning criteria within application itself, so that you'll not scan the wrong data or provide feedback to the user that they have scanned the wrong barcode. There are also application that scan some encrypted data in the barcode, so you may need to decrypt those data before it fit into your application. Of course, there are many others use case of why you need to integrate scanning into your application. And again, with the feature of able to control the scanner within your application, there are many possibility of how you want to use this feature. Okay, so where to download the SDK? So if you go to Honeywell download site, okay, under the download site, software, um, software and tools, developer library, SDK for Android, and inside here the SDK for mobility SDK Android. Okay, the current version is the version 1 ended with 128. So always look for the latest SDK version here. You may ask, what is this Android OS SDK? Manage some of the function or feature of the OS within the Android file devices. We can look at this one in a separate session. Okay, so this is what you need to download. Once it download, it go into your download folder, and you need to unzip them. And when you unzip, this is what you will get. You see there are another two zip file inside there. One is the data collection. The other one is the Android printing. So what we're going to touch on today is the data collection. Okay. Um, so what you need to do is to copy this out of this folder and unzip it, because window may prompt you that the path is too long for it to unzip. So after you unzip, this is what you get for the data collection SDK. Okay, inside there are documentation of the SDK. There are words release note for it. There are also the API guide in PDF, and there's a so-called HTML help.
Now, let's get started.
creating your application, you start Android Studio, click on Start New Android Studio Project, select the basic activity, click Next. On the name itself, we key in Scan in App. So over here, you determine the location you want to save. So I'm going to save under here in app. All right, so this is the folder I'm going to save in. All right, or you can always click on the browse to find your folder. When this is done, you just need to click finish, and Android will take a few minutes to generate the skeleton studio with the skeleton code for you. When done, this is what you will get. You first get the main page, which is just contain a hello world text view and the main activity.java. Now on your main contain activity layout, we going to add a button here. So this is a button added here, which we name it as the text scan page, and assign the button ID to button scan page. Also on the hello world text view, we'll change it to call scan page as well. All right, so basically this is what you need to do on the layout. Now go back to the main activity Java. We will need to add on the barcode variable, but before that, you need to go into your Android manifest.xml, which is, if you look at the project, it's under the app manifest, Android manifest.xml. Add the permission to use the library. So this is what you need to do, is to call the use permission Android with a name for this library. Okay, basically you must type exactly with the same and it's case sensitive. All right. Once you have the permission added here, the other thing is to take a reference for the library, to add the library to this project. If you recall, we download the library earlier on under the document download data collection SDK, and inside this data collection.aar, copy this file, all right, and go into your project, which is for this case HSM Android Scan in App. Under the app folder, let's paste the AAR file here. Back to Android document download data collection SDK, and inside this data collection.aar, copy this file, all right, and go into your project, which is for this case HSM Android Scan in App. Under the app folder, let's paste the AAR file here. Back to Android Studio. In the build menu, this edit library and dependency. And in the center panel here, click on the app button, scroll down and search for import AAR package. All right, click next. Look for the library in your app folder. Select data collection.aar, click OK, and then finish here. All right, and then when you finish, click on apply. When you apply, you can see that the data collection is shown on the module here, right? And select the app here under the declare dependency panel. Click on plus and then module dependency. Check the checkbox for data collection. Click OK. All right, so now the reference to the library is done. All right, now go back to main activity.java, which is under the project here, the Java folder. Okay, this main activity.java. The first thing we need to do is to add the barcode reader. Take note that this is static because we want this barcode reader to be used by others activity as well. So when you first type barcode reader, you'll notice that it's red because we have not import the class here. Okay, put your cursor here and press alternate enter. All right, and select import class. You will import the barcode reader class, and now it's no longer red in color. Likewise, go to your AIDC manager. Okay, do the same thing. And now we have the AIDC manager and also the button itself that we have defined. All right, in order for us to show the toast message or the log message, we also create a log text for this one. So this is, we call it a scan app, right? So this is to help us to easily identify the logging message. Next, create a static barcode reader get barcode object inside here. The main purpose of this is for you to get these barcode readers reference in another when you need to use it. All right. All right. Inside your own create method for your main activity, you need to create the AIDC manager dot create, right? So basically this will function, and then you want to call on to this, and then new, you know, AIDC and create callback. Basically this is what you need to do, and then you will generate this function for you. All right. So what we need to do inside there is to assign the manager that we define up here, okay, with the AIDC manager here, which you can see is over here. All right, so basically this is what you need to do. Let me uncomment this part. All right, so this is basically what you need to do. Let me remove this one because these are duplicate. Okay. All right, so you can see that this is red because again, you need to import the classes for it. So just alternate enter and import the class. So basically, you assign the barcode reader to create the reader from with the manager for AIDC manager. All right. So we are done. We also want to create reference of the button scan page to the layout ID that earlier on we create on the layout. All right, so this is how we do it. Actually, we don't need the button here. All right. Okay, before we call on to button to click and call on to the next page, we need to create the other page. But before we do that, we need to make sure that when we exit this application, whatever we created for the barcode reader manager is being released to the system. So what you need to do is to create on destroy method. If you don't know how to create this method, just click on the blank location here, right click and select generate. All right, and find the override method. So you just need to search on destroy. All right, so this is the one that you need to add. Okay, just click on this one and say okay, and you create this method for you. All right, basically what we add on to this method is here. Okay, let me uncomment this. All right, so basically if the barcode reader is not empty, we'll close it and set it to now. Likewise, go to the manager, right? We'll close it. All right, let's remove this duplicate method. All right, so this is what you need to do for the main activity for now. And next is to create a scan page activity. Basically, you just need to right click on here and search for new. Okay, and go under activity, create a basic activity. So if you create a scan page, for example, right? And now you can see that there's error because I recreated that. And if you have a unique name, as what I did, I create one, the finish button will be enabled, right? Since I recreated, I will not do it. Let me cancel it. So the page created will be empty, but here I already added two widget here. One is a text view. So I could add a text view to the page here. All right, with the page view, I set the ID to text view scan data and just change the text to call scan data. Next, I add a plain text entry and I change the text to keyboard. All right, so basically this is what I do on this page. Uh, in the scan page Java file, what do you need to do? Basically, the first one is to create a barcode reader reference, and then also to create the text view variable. And of course, I create a log tag so that whatever log debug log I can easily find with this. All right. In the on create function of the scan page, the first thing I do is to take a reference to the layout for this scan text. Next, I take a reference from the main activity to get the barcode object. So if you recall, in the main activity, this we are actually calling on to this function here. All right. All right. Next, we want to let me comment this part here and tell you what this part do. So the first part is to register an event listener for the barcode. All right. Next is to set the property. Here we are using a trigger client control mode. All right. Next, we add the trigger listener as well. And inside here, we are trying to take the profile from the Honeywell setting. So if you look at the device, in the device setting here, under your system setting, Honeywell setting, scanning, internal scanner. All right, so this is the default profile, and I also create a my scan profile. So here this is the name, right? This is called default. So if you want to use the other profile, you can change this to my scan to use the other profile. All right, so you can define your own profile or use the default profile in the system. So by using the profile in the Honeywell setting, whatever setting that you set inside there, you can use it with your application. So this make it very easy rather than you define it with your app, and when you want to change it, that make it thing difficult. So you basically follow the code here. First of all is to get the profile name, and then you create a map for the property, search inside the profile, and if you find the default profile, you and load this profile in. Next, if the profile matches, you can either change the profile of this wherever you found it by changing them and then set a new profile, or just use it. All right. So make sure you break it out here and stop from the for loop from continuing. All right. So basically, this is what it does. All right. So if you notice that this is now red, which means there is error because the listener is not created. To do that, basically you need to implement the listener within the activity here. So basically, you just need to add this. So again, here still have error, and you just need to alternate enter, and you can implement this method for you, which the studio will generate for you. So there are three methods that you need to generate: on barcode event, on failure event, on trigger event. All right, so you can see that these are now generated for you, and what is inside the code that you need to put. All right, for the on barcode event, basically when there is a barcode decoded, um, so you can see that you need to actually run a background thread here, which will take the barcode data, which I get the barcode data, and I put it into the text view scan text. All right, so this is what I did. Of course, most of the time you don't put it into a text view, you put into your or edit text, right? But for this time, we want to show you how this thing works here. Okay, so since this is duplicate, I'm going to remove this and likewise go to the other two function because I'm going to uncomment down the code bit bottom here. So I comments when it fill, I basically just show no the code inside the text view scan data text. And for trigger, this only applies to the client mode, which we set up here. All right. So the code basically talk about barcode aim, aimer on, the emission on, and then decode. All right. You can just copy all this code from the barcode sample that come with SDK, which is inside here, right? So you can just copy the code from here and paste it here. All right. Next, in order for your application to be able to concurrently or rather share the barcode reader with other app, or you need to make sure that you release them and claim them accordingly. So they are on resume function, on pause function, and on destroy function that you need to add to it. Again, if you don't know how to create this function, you can get the studio to generate for you by right click on the code here and select generate override method, right? Take for example override on resume, right? Not on post resume, is at the other one here. So this is the one that you need to add. All right. So what you want to do on here is that when you resume the activity, basically you want to check whether the barcode reader is already claimed by your app. If no, you claim it. That's what you need to do, right? Okay, since this is duplicate, I just remove it. Likewise, for when your activity or app go into sleep or pause mode, okay, you want to release it for other application to use, right? So if it's already used by your app, you want to release it. And last and not least, when your activity or page is being completely destroyed or closed, you want to remove the two listener. First one is the barcode, then the trigger, so that if other app is using the scan barcode reader, you will not trigger this listener here. All right, so these are the thing that you need to do with the code here. All right, so now we have created a scan page. Back to your main activity. Remember, we have the barcode scan button scan page that we need to call onto this page, right? So let's uncomment the code here. So you need to create a on-click listener, right? And inside the on-click listener, you want to start the activity, which is the scan page here. All right, so how you get this name? This is a name that you define in the manifest. All right, so if you look for the manifest, inside the manifest, when you create the new activity page, this will be created for you. What you need to do is to add the filter intent here within the to activity keyword here. Okay, all right, so this is what you need to do. And inside here, there is this action Android, and this is the one that you define, Android intent action scan page. Okay, this is the name that you can define. And obviously, you need to also have this default category here. All right, that's all you need to do in the manifest. Now we have, I guess we are good to go. All right, the next part is to compile the app and run in the device. So if you do not see your Honeywell device here or your Android device here, basically you have not set up in the device itself. So what you need to do is go to setting, scroll all the way down to about phone, and scroll all the way to the bottom. You can find a build number. You need to tap this 7 times in order for you to become a developer right? So if you are already a developer, under the system advanced, the developer option will be turned on. Basically, you need to scroll all here and make sure that the debugging using USB is switched on. All right, so this is what you need to do. Once you switch on this, you can plug out your USB cable and plug in again, and they will prompt you to authenticate to your PC. And once you did that, and the device model will be shown here. All right, basically, this is what you need to do. All right, let's run the app here. Okay, so the app is run as what we expected. The main page followed by the scan page button. If I click on the scan page button, you'll come into the app here. If I put on the cursor here on the scan entry, okay, you can see that whatever I scan did not come into the view here, but go on top of the text view, right? So basically, it's working as what we expect it to be. All right. So let's look at the setting. So if you recall, um, under the scanner setting, we have this internal default setting. Okay, the reason why it go into the text view is because the wedge is turned off, right? So by default, it's actually on, but early on because I turned it off. But if I turn this thing on, what will happen is, let's go back to the application. All right, we need to quit this and come in again. So if I put the cursor here, if I scan the barcode, you can see that it actually go into the text view because now it's actually in the wedge mode. Okay, remember when we call the app, we actually get all the property. So the wedge property is actually being retrieved. That's why it's still treating it as a wedge mode. All right. So to make the data go back to the text view, you need to go back and disable this, right? So let's disable it. All right. Let's go back to your app and go back again. Put your cursor here. Okay, you scan the text. You see now the barcode scan basically go into your text view. All right. So early on, if you recall, we talked about you can parse your data, you can format your data. What you basically need to do is go into your on barcode event here, and this is where you can in here you can change your data. You can add prefix, suffix. You can change your data to uppercase, to lowercase, whatever you want to do, all inside this function here. Right, I guess this is what you need to know about how to integrate scanning into your app. If you have any question on the scanning API for Android, you can look at the help file that provided in the SDK download. You can go to your SDK under the document API, open up the index.html, which is what you see here. All the SDK interface, class, and method exception will be all defined here. Right, so this one will provide you all the detail about all the entire SDK. Also, if you have further question and require help, you can go to our technical support portal, which is support.honeywell.aidc.com. Here you can search for any known articles about the SDK, or you can ask a question to the community or ask the tech support. Good. So this is what we going to show you how to integrate scanning into your application. Hope this session help. Have a great time integrating the scanning into your app. See you. Bye.